Hello everyone and welcome you all to another chapter of the Adobe Premiere Pro project-based tutorial. So now we are on a chapter number 2 and here I'll be showing you how you can add a text behind an object. Okay, so here we'll be learning about that in this particular class. I'll be showing you guys how you can basically put up, how you can actually do the masking and also move that around with the use of keyframes, how you can use the feather to actually change the opacity of the behind object. Okay, we'll be learning about all of that here in this particular class. So let's not waste time and let's get started with this chapter on adding text behind an object. So now, as you guys can see here, I am in the home page of the Premiere Pro. So now I will just click on new project and I will name this one as adding text behind object. Okay, so I'll be creating this name and from here I'll check all of this and I will create one new workspace, or this is basically a new project. Okay, so now what I need to do is I want to import a media. So in that case, I'll right click over here and here it is just going directly to my resource file. Otherwise I can check on my downloads as well. Okay, so maybe I will take this video from here and I will just move this video here in my timeline. So once I move this video here in my timeline, it will directly become a sequence. Okay, so I will just put this one here. As you guys can see, I don't have any audio for this video, and here it's showing me that this one is a sequence. So from here I can basically change the name, which I'll do from here. So I'll be writing this one as video 1. Okay, video 1, and I will just click over here, and this is one time used, and this one is basically the sequence. If I want to add more of this, like more videos to the same sequence, I can do that here as well. Okay, you guys also may know about that. So now let's start with the text. So for text, what I can do is I can directly come here and click on this one. Otherwise, what I can do is I can just come here and just click on T from my keyboard. So here I have clicked T and you guys can basically see that I do have my text option in my mouse. So what I'll do now is I'll just play this, and the place from where I want to change that, I'll be doing that as well. So let me just play this through and I will come here, and what I'm going to do is I will select this particular place and I will write a text. Okay, so from here maybe I will click on this part, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to write something down. Okay, so what can I basically write? So here I will just write arrow. Okay, so arrow, and now what I can also do is I can just select the font which I want to take from here. Okay, I can come to this option and now I can just select this box, selection tool, and I will delete this box over here. Select this, delete this one. Now select this thing and you can change all these things here as well. Okay, so there are different of this, and now I can also increase the size of this thing. Okay, maybe I will just keep this thing somewhat like here, and what I'll do is I will just move this one around. Okay, so I just want to move this thing around and I will just move this somewhere over here. And if I want to increase the size, I can do this from corner, or if I go to transform option from my effects controls, I can do from there as well. If I want to give some different color, I can give some different color here as well, but I would like to keep this one white. And here, as you guys can see, I also do have the tracking option. Okay, so from here basically I can select the tracking. If I just want to just roll this around, I can just roll this around. Okay, I'll just put somewhere over here. And now this particular thing is done. I don't want any stroke here or any kind of background. And I have scaled that already quite a bit. if I want to put any kind of rotation, I can put any kind of rotation here as well. Okay. So maybe I'll just put a rotation kind of like this. And now what I can do is I will select this thing. I will select the arrow tool, move this one down, select this layer, delete this. And here, if I also do have a box, I can also delete that one as well. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is, as I'm over here, what I'm going to do is now I'll just zoom in. Okay. Or I can just mask this around. So I will just try to zoom in a little bit. Okay. So I will come up over here. Or what I can do is I can just zoom this one by 50% and I'll come here on top. Okay, I will just keep this one over here. And what I can do is I will just zoom this out and I'll mask it accordingly. So I'll just fit this one because I want to mask this whole thing around. So if you guys know how you can do that, you guys can check these things out as well. So from here, what I'll do is I will come to this word over here. I will select this and also I will come here in the opacity option. So here, as you guys can see, I do have the free draw booster here as well. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I will use this tool quite properly. Okay, so I will just use this thing. You don't have to be so accurate in that case, but it's always good if you guys do it kind of more accurately. Okay, so I will just keep this thing somewhere here, here, and I'll make sure that I make this properly. And if you want to make some round, in that case, what you can do is you guys can come here and you guys can just click on that thing over there. And now I will make another box. So I will just join this box with this one over here. So as you guys can see, I have joined this thing over here and now I already do have a mask. But here, what I can do is I'll just invert this layer. Now you guys can see how it actually looks. And here in any point, if you guys want to do any changes, in that case, you guys can always do some changes over here, just clicking on that and dragging it out. Okay. So I'll just move this thing around a little bit. And here also, I feel I did a bit too much over here. So for that, again, I'll come here. I will just zoom this thing out. And right now, it kind of looks good. And now, if I want to add any kind of feather, I can add different kind of feather here as well. Okay. So here you guys can see I do have a mask feather option. So basically here I won't increase this one so much. Okay, so I will just keep this thing somewhere like 16, 15. Okay, that will kind of look good. And now the next thing what I will be doing here is I will come here in this mask option. Okay, I'll select this particular mask. Already I have changed the mask feather here as well. But what I'm going to do is I will come to this mask path. Okay, I'll be showing you guys how you can basically do it manually or how you can also do it automatically. Like you don't have to do so much of that. But I'll be telling you guys about the manual one first because mostly the manual is only being used because for pro editors they don't use the normal one, most of them. If that's for a higher end video editing, in that case you guys basically would love to use the manuals. So now here I will come to the mask path and what I'll do is I'll just click over here and what I'm going to do is I will just take this frame few step forward. Okay, so I will just bring this step few forward and now again I'll select this mask and what I'll do is I'll just move this mask over here and I will just adjust this layer as well. Okay, so from here I will select this and I will just move this around and what I can also do is I can just take this one over here and this one I can just bring this over here or I'll just move this thing around a little bit. And now again, I will click here. Okay, I will come down here. This one is adjusted and I'll just cancel this one again. And now what I'll do is again, I'll just take this thing a few frames forward. Okay, so from here again what I'll do is I will just cut this thing out. I will increase the size from here, and I will come here again. Okay, I will just take this few frames forward, and I will just move this one accordingly. Okay, so I hope you guys have understood how you guys can animate this whole frame properly. Okay, and I'll do this one till this goes out of the frame. Okay, so I will do here as well a little bit. I'll just move this one around. Okay, so from here I will just move this thing around as well, and again I will come here, and I'll also resize the mask over here. Okay, so I can always resize the size from here. So I will just move this thing over here, and this points, what I can do is I can just get these points down from here. Okay, so I'll just get this down somewhere here. I'll just decrease the size, and now again I will go few frames forward. Okay, so I will just go few frames forward till the time it goes out. I'll come here, and this here you guys can see this is how it will basically look. So now if I just play back from the beginning, so I'll just double click here, I'll deselect the mask. So I'll just click down here, take the selection tool, select outside the box, and now I will try to play this video down. So this is how it actually looks, as you guys can see. Okay, so it will start somewhere from here, so it will end kind of here. So you guys can see my text is behind the object in that case. And now what you guys can also do is you guys can always trim it down to this size. And now here you might think that when this one is basically transitioning, okay, so here in this place the text is appearing, I want to put some transition over here. So for that, again what you need to do is you need to come to effects, and from here you can select this option where I do have my video transitions. Okay, so I'll just select this one over here, and what I can do is I can just select from the dissolve. Okay, so maybe I'll just put additive dissolve over here, and as it will end, okay, I won't put anything at last. So let's see a preview of how my text appears. Okay, so now I'll select this thing again, delete this one, or instead of transition, what I can also choose is I can choose the video effects. Okay, so from here we can just transform and do a lot of things here as well. Okay, here you guys can see presets which you also can use. Okay, you guys can use that as well. So I'll just come again over here somewhere, okay, in the video transition panel, and maybe I will choose the dissolve, but I will just choose this film dissolve, and I will put this one here at the beginning. Okay, so I'll just put this one over here, and now I will just play this thing, and as you can see now it kind of appears quite smoothly. Okay, so here are other options which you guys can actually work out with. You guys can also take a round mask. If you want to create a polygon mask, you guys can make a polygon mask as well. Like suppose if you do have any object in one side of the frame, in that case you guys can use all of these options as well. Okay, but while I was teaching you guys about this thing, okay, remember that I also told you guys about I'll be showing you how you can make it auto as well. Okay, so now for that again I will come to this point over here. Okay, I'll come to this point, and as you can see if I just delete all these frames, okay, suppose I'll just delete this one, click on shift and select all these layers as well. Okay, I'll delete all these 4 keyframes, but here when I select the mask one, here you guys can see I will just go back somewhere here, and in that case, what you can actually do is now from here, you guys can actually just click and you guys can make keyframes. Okay. So from here, you guys can actually make keyframes, and here you guys can see different options. Okay. From here also, you can just take this one step forward, and here you guys can take this backward, and this is the one. If you want to go to the previous keyframes, here is the tracking method. You guys can explore this one more, like how you want it. But here, as you guys can see, if you want to add anything, you guys can add a keyframe. Suppose I want to add some keyframe over here. Okay, so I'll just select over here. And now what I'll do is, suppose I will come here. And now what I can also do is I can just add a keyframe over here. Or if you just click on the previous keyframe, you'll go there as well. Okay, so this is how you guys can also work out with this thing. Okay, here you guys can see track selected, it will just mask backward. Okay, that particular object, it will be just masked backward. So here, as you guys can see, once I play this thing, it doesn't look that great. But you can use this one. Okay, so here you can see this one is basically tracking. So now if I play here, okay, if I need to just come here first. Okay, I will delete this frame, or I'll delete this whole thing over here. Okay, all these keyframes, I will delete this one. And here also I'll select this, I'll delete this one. And now if I come to mask number one, and I'll just go back to my video back from here. Okay, I will try to move this one a little bit. Okay, or I will just increase the size of this frame that I can see my keyframes properly. Okay, so now from here you guys can select this, and here you guys can see it's in progress. So as you guys can see, this is how it actually looks over here. Okay, and now you guys can just click this one and can go backward, or you can just go forward frame by frame. Okay, so here, as you guys can see, it have put all the keyframes. So now, as you guys can see, this is how it actually looks. And you guys can readjust this same place by putting some feather, or just put another mask on top of that. I'll just deselect this thing. And now if I play this thing, you guys can see I will be able to see only that part. Okay, so I'm just only able to see that particular part, which is not quite necessary for me. So again, I'll just put up the mask, which I have already put over there. So I'll just select this whole thing, delete, and now select this thing over here, and I will delete this one as well. Okay, so now come to this one, and what you can do is I will just delete this one. So hope you guys have understood how you can put this object behind. Okay, now I will just close this down. Okay, I just want it to disappear. So from here, I will just play around with the opacity. So here I will keep the opacity something like this. Okay, here it will be 100%. And now I will click on this keyframing options, and I will come somewhere here. And by that time, it will be 0. Okay, or I'll just select this layer, come to the opacity option, and from here I will have 100% opacity, and I'll come here, I will have 100% opacity here as well. Okay, so I will just select 100% and right somewhere here. Okay, I will just click this one, I'll delete the keyframe, and now I will change the opacity of this particular thing down to 0. Okay, so I have changed the opacity from here as well. Now let's see the full video from here. Okay, so I will just play the video, and this is how it actually looks, and this is how it will just fade out. So I hope you guys have understood this class totally, and now you guys can actually put text behind any object. So hope to see you all in the next chapter. Till then, take care and goodbye everyone.